Hey yo, what is up YouTube? Ginno here today with my review for J-Hopes mixtape, Hope World. I was so excited for this project. It's been a long time coming. I've been expecting it since Sugar dropped his mixtape August D. That was fantastic, as was Rap Monster's prior mixtape, or should I call him RM now? I really cannot get used to that. His project as well, which was also very good. Now, I'm not here to compare the mixtapes to one another. I'm here to review J-Hopes mixtape. This is a mixtape, so I'm not expecting it to be studio album quality. I'm not expecting it to be God's gift to earth. I'm just expecting a very solid project that's imaginative, fun, and nicely put together. And honestly, I was not let down by this. I've seen some critiques of it, but most of the critiques I've seen so far have been, I just don't really feel the vibe. Honestly, there's not much to criticize on this album. The production is class A. I think J-Hope is very good at structuring hooks. He is consistent with his songwriting. He has a nice balance of genres. He storytells fairly well, and it's nicely constructed. He doesn't get too bogged down in that sort of heavy trap style that he's done in the past. He's more focused on these light pop hip hop pieces, but they're not like laden with these awful vocal performances at all. It's actually really well put together. There is a guest feature on this, which I'm actually quite happy with, but I'm glad he didn't go over the board and have like 4 different people featuring this little mixtape. He had one feature, and that was from Supreme Boy, BTS collaborator in the past, who is a very talented rapper and also pairs very well with J-Hope. They don't have too similar voices, but they are similar in other ways. Their flow matched up in the song Hansang, and it just worked. Now let's talk about the tracks individually. The first 2 tracks on this are delightful intro pop pieces. The first one is Hope World, the namesake for the mixtape. The synthesizers that lead into this are really sort of spoopy and fun and just very interesting. J-Hope goes for a sort of pop rap flow, very excitable, very energetic, eternally positive. I really like the energy and the smoothness he brings to this song. The chorus is very short, and I can't critique it all that much. I think the only thing I could say is at some points that his vocals seem a little bit flat and uninteresting, but really there's not much to critique on this song. It's fun, and it's a good pop rap song. The second track on this album is P.O.P. or Piece of Peace. This is probably the most well written song, but at the same time the least well composed. Structurally, I don't really like this song all that much, but the synthesizers on it are nice, it's smooth. There's this distorted chorus which is quite fun, but it's also a little bit irritating as I've listened to it many times at this point. There's a gorgeous keyboard throughout the song, and that works incredibly well, but there's just something lacking in this song, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. It could be that it needs like an extra bass kick or something. Just give it a little bit of oomph, because it was a little bit too poppy for my taste. But honestly, this is a very simple song, but the lyrics on it are just gorgeous. My lord, J-Hope did a really good job writing this, and I just love the fact that it's P.O.P, you know, pop, but it's Piece of Peace. I think that's just nice. It's just nice. Maybe I'm going a little bit too cheesy there, but I do like that. The third track is Daydream, which was also the music video and title track. I really like this. The more I've listened to it, it's grown on me a lot. I think the instrumental, which is very subtle, it works exactly for what J-Hope is trying to do. He shows off so many different flows on this song. The hook is great. The instrumental is very fresh and different, and it works with J-Hope's voice, because he's always got that tangy little accent, and I can't really describe his voice, but it's almost a little bit nasally, and with that sort of low-key instrumental, it just shows off his voice so much, and that's just cool. There's also this great slow down part. I enjoyed that a lot. And now we move on to tracks 4 and 5, which for me sort of act like an intro and like a secondary piece. The intro is Bassline, which is so heavy, so hard-hitting, bassy, great delivery by J-Hope. The lyrics are a little bit lacking, but because it has such an oomph to it and such a good feel, it works incredibly well as like a prelude to Hansang. And god damn, Hansang, they go in hard. That is the song with J-Hope and Supreme Boy. They go in hard on that. It's so dense, and the lyrical dexterity is just on point. There's this smooth, eerie piano layered into the instrumental, really quite scary on some level, builds up a great atmosphere. I do think it could do with a little bit more bass, so that when I'm pumping it out on my speakers, it actually gives it a little bit more oomph, like what happened with bassline. Bassline, there's a real oomph and a kick to it, and I really like that with my, my hip hop music. That I tend to like the heavier, more harder hitting than these delicate little instrumentals. So I feel like Hansan could do with a bass kick, just a little bit more energy, but they go goddamn hard on this. Supreme Boy is great. And the delivery that they go for, it's so fresh, it's so weird, certainly not a Western style. Reminds me a little bit of some Vietnamese rap that I've listened to. Next up is Aeroplane, probably my least favourite track on this album as a whole. There's this light percussion intro which is very, very sweet, very delicate, but then we get these sort of whispery, awkward vocals. I really am not keen on the chorus. The singing is very meh, it's a little bit flat, dull. Although I do understand the concept for this song, and it is conceptual, it's nicely written, and I know what J-Hope was going for. The actual song just doesn't come across well, and its genre, I really couldn't pin one. I think he was trying to go for a more vocal hip-hop piece. Maybe there was some R&B influence in there, but the instrumental just sounded so cloudy and muffled. I just couldn't get into it. But goddamn, that final verse, yeah, that final verse was real good. Real good. I like that. And finally we have the outro, which is Blue Side. For the longest time, I knew the name of the song was Blue Side, but I thought he was saying Busan, Busan, and I feel like an idiot because he's saying Blue Side, but it sounds like he was saying Busan, and all I could think of was Train to Busan, and I got very emotional. It is a rather gorgeous outro, very smooth. There's this light percussion, and it's very, very nice, and all I can say is that is a great outro. To compare that with the rest of the album, the way I see it, Hope World and POP are together, then Daydream, Bassline and Hansang are all together in the middle section, and then you have Aeroplane and Blue Side as sort of like the outro pieces. And that's why I think the album, the whole mixtape, it flows so well. It's great craftsmanship when someone can put together an album and it feels cohesive, it feels intelligent. I really like what he's done here. It's a lot of fun. The whole mixtape is beautifully crafted. The production is consistent. It's good. The genre differences work incredibly well without feeling like I'm being moved from one album to another album. It's cohesive, and I love that for a mixtape. To get a cohesive mixtape is very, very rare. If you've listened to a lot of mixtapes like I have, I'm talking American Witch mixtapes. Think back to some of the Migos stuff that was really popular. Childish Gambino's mixtape, Chance the Rapper's mixtapes, Kendrick's mixtape, J. Cole's mixtape. They were always filled with some good quality songs, but they never really had that structural perfection that J-Hope has here. Not even Sugar's Augusti or Ratmon's RM had that structural consistency. And I know I'm going on about this, but I think that's an incredible talent. And this mixtape, I'm not gonna lie, it feels more like a mini album or a studio album because of how intelligently it's put together, and the fact that all the songs are really decent quality. Like, I wouldn't be disappointed if he'd called this an album. I really wouldn't, and he'd sold it, for the same price as a normal album, because it is very good. I love the cover art, by the way. I think that's great. Very fun, very J-Hope. The music video for Daydream, very J-Hope. This whole thing feels like J-Hope, and I'm so happy he did this so well. In terms of a rating, I personally feel, given how much I enjoyed it, given how well crafted it is, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. And I know that sounds quite high because it is a mixtape, but I really do think J-Hope has absolutely nailed this. And I made a video a little while ago about whether J-Hope's mixtape would be overrated, and I was concerned that he would, be sort of pressured by the fact that people were hyping it up so much. But I think he is really, he's come through, he's come out to bat, and he's hit it out the park, to use a baseball thing. I don't play baseball, I don't even know whether that's a thing, but I really do think he's absolutely nailed this. I'm looking forward to potentially more music from J-Hope solo in the future, as well as, RM and Sugar. They're a very talented rap line, and I do think they can do better than they've already done. J-Hope, this probably is my favourite mixtape out of the three. I really like all of them, but I think in terms of an enjoyment level, as soon as they came out, this was a real pleasant surprise, and I wasn't expecting it necessarily. Nice genre bending and just really well constructed. As you can see, I'm kind of giddy about this. I really do think this was a classy mixtape. So yeah, thank you very much, J-Hope. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's going to be Ginno signing out. See you guys soon.